Hi everyone, Paul here from the DFS Zone. The main goal of the DFS Zone is to help you make picks on your own by providing full statistics correlated with PrizePicks props. The DFS Zone, where you become the guru. Come check out my Patreon site at patreon.com/thedfszone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to read and interpret the MLB PrizePicks spreadsheets. I've been working hard on some updates the last 2 months to add player cards to the spreadsheets to help you visualize the player props. Alright, before we continue, please help support my site. Like, share, and subscribe. Alright, so let's have a look at the spreadsheets now. So I used to have the hitters and the pitchers all in one spreadsheet, but there was just so many props I had to split it up. So we'll start off with the hitter spreadsheet. We'll touch on the pitcher spreadsheet a little bit later. It's pretty much identical to the hitters. Let's get started here. So at the bottom we have 5 tabs. The first tab is the hitter stats. I'll refer to this occasionally, but usually I just rely on the prop tabs and the player cards, which I'll show you in a minute. So we have hitter stats, then we followed by the props, hitter fan score, hits and walks, total bases, runs, RBIs. So back to hitter fan score. We'll go through all the different columns here. We also have a glossary at the top where it gives you a good idea of what column does what. So first off, we have the yes or no column. This is optional if you want to use it or not. Let's say I'm interested in Corey Seager and I want to filter out the other props. Well, I can put a Y there for a yes. You can put whatever you want, really. And then if I want to filter it out, I can just filter out by the Y. And similarly, the over-under column here, if you think it's going to be an over, you can put an O for an over or U for an under. In this case, it would probably lean towards an over. Again, these are totally optional. You don't have to use these. All right, let's clear that filter. Next, we have the name column, just the name of the player. The position, this is what PrizePicks provides. They used to break it out into first base, second base, third base. Now they've just got it as infield and outfield. I don't think it makes a huge difference in terms of the props, what position they really play. So next we have the team column. So it's the team they play for. The @ symbol symbolizes where the game is being played. So in this case, it's in Texas. Next we have the versus, so the team they're playing against. The game info, all game times are in Eastern Standard Time. Next, the GA, which is the game appearances, so the number of games that that player has appeared in. Last is the last game that they played in. Next, the all-important over-under column. So this is the over-under that PrizePicks is offering, and these are updated throughout the day. My server goes out and checks PrizePicks for any updates every 5 minutes. If there's a change, it will update the spreadsheets. So again, this is the over-under. So in this case, hitter fan score. The over-under for Corey Seager is 7.5. Next, we have the 10-game average for this prop. So you can see Corey Seager's got a 15.7 average for the last 10 games. LPS is the last prop score, just to give you an idea how we did in his last game. Next column, SD, the standard deviation of the average. Then we have the diff. So the diff is the difference between the average and the over-under. Next, we have the hit rate, these next 10 columns. Okay, so this kind of gives you an idea of how well this player has been hitting for this prop. So you can see here for Corey Seager, his 5-game hit rate is 100%, so he's hit it 5 out of 5. 10-game hit rate is 90%. And also important to note on this entire spreadsheet and all the spreadsheets, they are first sorted by the 5-game hit rate, followed by the 10-game hit rate, and then finally by the diff column. So you can see maybe for these two users or players, Brandon Drury and Stephen Kwan, they've got the same 5-game hit rate of 80%, but the 10-game hit rate is 80 and 70. So Brandon Drury is going to be rated ahead of Stephen Kwan for that reason. If there's any sort of tie, like here, then that would be sorted by the diff. So since Jonathan India has a 2.9 difference, he's rated ahead of the 2.4 difference. All right, and you can see here at the bottom, it'll get redder near the bottom. So ideally, or not necessarily ideally, but in general, the unders are going to be at the bottom and the overs are going to be at the top. Next, we have the opposing pitcher and their current ERA, also the 10-game prop history, the money lines, and the weather for that day. Now let's have a look at what I've added for the cards. I felt like the spreadsheet wasn't really giving people enough information for them to be able to make quick decisions or have a good visual overview of how they're doing. So I made these cards. So for each player, there's a hyperlink. And if you click on that hyperlink, it'll bring up the card. So here we have Corey Seager, 10-game hit rate. For fantasy score, you can see he's 9 out of his last 10. You've got his 5-game average, his 10-game average, 10-game history, the matchup, pitcher matchup, the betting lines, the weather. In this case, it's in a dome. And then you have the player statistics up to the last 20 games. Now, if you want to do a deeper dive on the stats, you can always use the hitter stats tab and filter out on the player you're interested in. Let's stick with Corey Seager. So Corey, there we go. So you can see his statistics for all his games for the entire season, and you can drill down as much as you want. All right, so now let's have a look at the pitcher spreadsheet. So like I said before, it's very similar to the hitter spreadsheet. There's actually quite a few more props down at the bottom. So we've got first tab, like in the hitters, we have just the raw pitcher stats. Next for props, we have pitching outs, strikeouts, quite a few strikeout ones, fan score, pitches thrown, earned runs allowed, hits allowed, and walks allowed. So let's go back to the strikeouts. All the columns, like I said, they're similar to the hitter column, so I don't need to explain that again. But let's have a look at the cards just for fun. So here we have the card for Mitch Keller. So you can drill down and have a closer look. You can see he's 8 out of his last 10. His averages, 10-game hit rate, the opposing pitcher matchup, betting lines, and his full statistics along with the weather report up here. So like I said, we have cards for all the player props. So here we go. Marcus Stroman, right? Sean Manaea. You name it, we got it. Fan score, same thing. They're all in here. Okay, so that concludes my tutorial on the MLB PrizePicks spreadsheets. I hope that you found this tutorial useful. In conclusion, please help support my site and do like, share, and subscribe.